سلام، پدرام هستم از مستر کاتالیست. تو این ویدیو همراه من باشین. قرار بریم سراغ اپیزود جدید پادکست ماسل مچوریتی، پادکستی که با حضور سمیر، بنوت و جان هنسن چند وقت یه بار پخش میشه و این بار به مناسبت 100مین اپیزودش جای کاتلر مهمونشون بوده. بحث‌های خیلی جالبی تو این پادکست مطرح شده. اگر محدودیت‌هایی وجود نداشت سعی می‌کردم که ویدیو رو خیلی مفصل‌تر از این کنم، ولی خب به هر صورت تلاشمو کردم که مهمترین موضوعاتی که اینجا مطرح میشه رو داشته باشه توی این ویدیو. خب تو بخشی از این پادکست در مورد عملکرد قهرمانان المپیا بعد از قهرمانی توی مسابقات و در واقع نقشی که به عنوان سفیر المپیا دارن بحث میشه. اینکه چطور سفیری برای المپیا بودن. جای کاتلر از فیلپیس تعریف کرده، از کارهایی که سامسون داروها و برندونکری کردن تعریف کرده، کارهایی که درک ترانسپورت کرده رو فوق‌العاده دونسته و البته در مورد هادی و بیگرامی هم صحبت کرده و تاکید کرده که این دو نفر مثل بقیه بدنسازایی که بهشون اشاره کرده نمیتونستن سفر کنن و در واقع محدودیت‌هایی داشتن. این بخش از صحبت‌ها رو با زیرنویس فارسی ببینید.
They're all great. I mean, listen, if Hadi was able to, if he didn't have the hearing issue and what everything else, like he's a mega star in his. Look at, have you seen, but when he comes back to Iran, have you ever seen a crowd like that? I mean, we saw him and Rami being national celebrities. Yes. Can you imagine? I remember getting off the, I would leave the gym, in Vegas and leave the place in Vegas. Of course, the crowd's outside. But after that, it's like no one cares. I can't get on the news station or anything else. And I watch these guys jump off the plane and it's like the president's there. You know what I mean? It's like
خب تو ادامه این بخش از صحبت سمیر بنوت هم به مشکلات هادی چوپان برای سفر کردن اشاره میکنه و به نوعی ابراز شرمندگی و ناراحتی میکنه از اینکه سیاست و ورزش به نوعی با هم میکس شده.
It's a shame that Hadi have an always problem traveling, because he's Persian. I mean, I just hate the fact when you mix up politics with athletic, I mean, come on, I mean, Hadi's problem is can't travel a lot, so he can't be as a good ambassador because he's not traveling. He's always limited in his traveling and stuff like that.
حالا نظر شما در این مورد چیه؟ حتما این پایین در موردش کامنت بذارید. ممنون میشم ویدیو رو لایک کنید. دم اونایی که تو این مدت هم بهمون به نوعی انگیزه دادن و هم کانال رو سابسکرایب کردن گرم و واقعا نمیفهمم اون دوستانی که به طور پیوسته میان ویدیوهای ما رو نگاه میکنن چرا علاقه به زدن دکمه سابسکرایب ندارن. بزن برادر، چیزی ازت کم نمیشه. خب یکی از بحثایی که تو سالهای گذشته در مورد بدنسازی به خصوص تو دسته اوپن مطرح بوده این بوده که بدنسازا به سمت حجیم تر شدن رفتن و بدنسازا رو با جزئیات کمتری تو بدنشون رو استیج میبینیم. این بحثی که اینجا به طور مفصل مطرح شده و جای کاتلر و سمیر بنوت در موردش صحبت کردن.
It's the judging. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, okay? But when you're judging the bigger body parts, and this stemmed from when I was doing it, they're just rewarding massive with enough condition. When you have Samson as Mr. Olympia, he has a hell of a body, right? Beautiful, I mean, he's like Lee Haney, but a bigger version, right? Yeah. What are the guys going to do to take him down? I mean, they better hope he's off condition, but if he's on enough condition, who's going to beat him? And who's going to beat Hadi Chupin with his razor condition in that sense? I mean, Hadi arguably could have won a lot of years, Samir. A lot of years that 100%. He did not win.
خب سمیر بنوت چندین و چند بار به شکل‌های مختلف پرسید که چرا سامسون که یه بدنساز با یه فیزیک عالیه رو با کاندیشن بهتر نمی‌بینیم. میگه با 5% کاندیشن بیشتر و کیفیت بیشتر بدون رقیب میشه. جای کاتلر به سبک خودش به این بحث پاسخ میده، از بدنسازهای امروزی دفاع میکنه، میگه زیادی بهشون بد و بیراه گفته میشه و نباید این بدنسازها رو با نسل گذشته مقایسه کنیم، به خصوص بدنسازهای خاصی که قبل‌تر داشتیم. و در واقع جای کاتلر همونطور که بارها و بارها به این موضوع اشاره داشته تاکید میکنه که اون چیزی که باعث شده بدنسازی این مسیر رو طی کنه سبک داوری‌ها بوده و مسابقات سالهای گذشته کاملا این رو نشون میده.
We always say could have, should have, whatever, but the truth is it all comes down to when they line them up, who's the best. And I think that these guys are getting criticized way too much. In this year's Olympia, if you have Hadi, if he can get here, you got Hadi, Samson, Derek, Andrew Jacked, Brandon Curry, Nick Walker. Dude, that's a hell of a top 5 or 6. I don't even know how many I mentioned. I mean, you're going to tell me you're going to criticize those guys aren't comparable to a lot of the guys back in the era? I mean, granted, you're talking Ronnie Coleman, you're talking Flex Wheeler. You're talking about the greatest bodies of all time, Samir. I mean, arguably, right? Is Flex Wheeler the best built human ever? I mean, Dorian Yates, like, you know, winning the Olympia as many times as he did. I mean, who had a back like Dorian Yates besides Derek Lunsford, who's 5'6" compared to Dorian Yates, who's 5'10"? Makes a difference. So when you talk about the quality, I think these guys get shit on way too much. I still think the quality is there, but the judging procedures, they're looking for the, you know, the size has gotten, and it started with Dorian and it went through me and Ronnie where we got way too big. And now, you know, you see the guys, they're just expansive in a sense, which the bigger you are and the fuller you are, you're going to lose some of that detail. And we talked about Dexter Jackson. He was way more shredded early in his career than when he got blown up a little more. And he had like rounder, fuller muscles. They start losing that detail that they had in the early ages of, like, from your era, Samir. Like, the guys were in the 200 teens. Now, if you're not 250, you're not competing on Olympia stage in the top 5. It's ridiculous, you know, but that's what it's come to. That's progression. That's evolution. It's what it is. So don't shit on the guys today because it's only because they have to be at that level to compete in the money.
What the reason why we're not getting that really paper saran wrap onion skin? This is what I want.
They carry way more size than the guys ever did.
Right.
That's why.
البته سمیر بنوت ولکن ماجرا نبود و در نهایت جای کاتلر مجبور میشه به این شکل حرف خودش رو بزنه.
In my head, I'm still thinking it's possible to be super massive and super shredded simultaneously. I mean, to get that paper thin skin. I mean, look, because I saw that on Ronnie Coleman.
You're talking about Ronnie Coleman, bro. Like, you're talking
He's the GOAT for a reason.
Yeah, but
you're talking about a guy from Mars. I'm telling you, Ronnie Coleman is. You're never gonna see Ronnie Coleman again. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Your muscles are how much water. When your muscles have that much expansion, think about how round these guys are. How many fibers can you see when the muscle's that full and round?
Yeah.
Well, wait, you know, we should call that a water war too, Jay. The water war.
تو بخشی از صحبت‌ها هم بحث کاندیشن هادی چوپان مطرح میشه. سمیر بنوت به هادی چوپان اشاره میکنه، ازش تعریف میکنه و البته جای کاتلر از میان تنه هادی میگه.
What Hadi Chopin stand out? Hadi Chopin comes in shredded in the middle. Shredded upper thighs, and guess what? He probably doesn't have the best frame out there, but that edge muscularity, boom, cannot take his eyes off of him.
Best midsection in the whole show. That's where Hadi is so dangerous because it's still mid-range of the body, Samir. Like, we don't see that as much, you know, with the guys these days.
جای کاتلر تو ادامه صحبت‌هاش بار دیگه از اینکه نسل‌های مختلف بدنسازا با هم مقایسه میشن انتقاد میکنه. میگه این مسیر تکاملی بوده که بدنسازی طی کرده و به امروز رسیده و در واقع بدنسازان امروزی نقشی توش نداشتن و فقط با معیارهایی که بهشون تحمیل شده دارن جلو میرن. و البته بین صحبت‌هاش به 4 تا بدنساز اشاره میکنه که به نظرش مثل یه ماشین تمرین میکنن. این حرفش در واقع دفاعی از نسل امروزی بدنسازا در مقایسه با بدنسازای گذشته بوده. چیزی که بارها و بارها مطرح شده و گفته میشه که این نسل از بدنسازای تنبل‌تری هستن.
Evolution is just something we can't fight it. In the evolution of bodybuilding, like it or hate it, this is what it is. So we have to stop trying to compare the eras.
The past to the present.
Yeah, because Samir, I was too big. I said it. I think, like I said, I think you said the early Phil Heath, 2011 Phil Heath when he beat me was his best ever. After that, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. He was phenomenal, but he was his best in 2011. These guys between Samson, Hadi, Derek, and Nick Walker, I know personally those guys train harder than you can ever imagine those guys.
Yes.
Those guys are all dangerous.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other guys too, but that's 4 guys that I can name just that are machines.
یکی دیگه از بحثایی که اینجا مطرح شد بحث مربوط به پیک بدنی مسابقه بوده. اینکه چرا بدنسازا نوسان دارن، چرا به طور پیوسته پیک بدنی عالی ندارن چرا شو به شو پیک های بدنیشون مشابهت نداره و توی مسابقه خیلی خوبن، توی مسابقه ممکنه خوب نباشن. جای کاتلر در این مورد میگه که نمیشه فقط پیشرفت کرد و همه بدنسازا ممکنه با مشکلاتی مواجه بشن و البته تاکید داره که فیلهیس و بعدش دوریان یتس تو پیک بدنی مسابقه بهترین بودن.
No one's ever done it perfectly every single time. There's never been a perfect Mr. Olympia ever. I think someone can peak what they think their perception tells you is 100. What I'm saying is no one can ever get progressively better and better and better without a stumble at some point. You're always going to have a little sway from here to there. I think Phil Heath peaked the best of anyone I've ever seen. I mean, Dorian Yates was pretty solid too, but no, Phil Heath. I'm going to say Phil Heath. Phil Heath was probably the best in peaking we've ever witnessed on the Olympia stage.
اما بحث دیگه‌ای که تو این پادکست مطرح شد و به نظرم حتما باید بهش اشاره بشه این بود که سمیر بنوت در مورد استفاده بیش از حد بدنسازا از داروها صحبت کرد و تاکید میکرد که ما چرا نباید بتونیم یه نمای سالم از این ورزش ارائه کنیم و در واقع بدنسازی که قهرمان میشه به خصوص تو دسته اوپن چرا حتما باید استفاده بیش از حدی از داروها داشته باشه. جای کاتلر تو پاسخ میگه که بدون استفاده بیش از حد از داروها نمیشه قهرمان دسته اوپن شد و میگه که این کاری که خودش هم انجام داده.
I never claimed that I did anything correctly. You know, I abused, anabolics when I was trying to chase the top. I was one of these guys that looked at it and said, I'll do anything to win in a sense, but I did have enough sense and I did think about what would be after, right? And that's what I'm trying to say is listen, bodybuilding is never looked upon as being a healthy thing because anytime you dehydrate yourself to that point, that's the most dangerous part. I mean, they talked about the dehydration process, right?
Jay, do you believe that is it possible to have a Mr. Olympia champion and walk out healthy and feel good and live heavily without the abuse? You think is it doable without the abuse?
No, not in the open, not in today's era.
در مورد سالم بودن ورزش بدنسازی در مقایسه با سایر ورزش‌ها هم جای کاتلر نظرات جالبی داشت. بنوت میگه که الان چی سالم هست. یه روز میگن تستوسترون بده، فرداش میگن خوبه. و قبول داره که بدنسازی ورزش سالمی نیست ولی به این هم اشاره میکنه که تو تمام ورزش‌ها خطراتی وجود داره به خصوص وقتی که بخوای به اوج برسی. میگه هر چیزی میتونه خطرناک باشه. ملت از ترس هواپیما با ماشین اینور اونور میرن و هر سال کلی آدم تو تصادفات جاده‌ای میمیرن. و در نهایت چیزی که مهمه اینه که اون کاری که دوست داری رو انجام بدی و نظرات بقیه هیچ اهمیتی نداره.
I'm going to turn the tables a little bit and people can view this as different things. Is anyone walking out on a field or when you compete in sports, if you're a swimmer, if you're playing basketball every other day, and is anyone healthy at that point? Everyone's pushing the envelope to be the best at what they do. Is bodybuilding worse than cycling or listen, playing football, listen, Samir, how many injuries do you see? It's the envelope of being great. Is it healthy? I don't know what's healthy these days. Is it healthy? No, it's not. But it's a choice.
Okay.
And it's a competition. It's a career for a lot of people. It's inspiring for a lot of people when they get on that stage. And you know what? If someone enjoys doing it, who gives a shit what anyone says?
Yeah.
I don't. We all have personal choice. And there's always going to be people on the outside, but all that matters is what you want to do. That's it.
اما بخش پایانی صحبت ها هم اشاره داشت به پیشبینی جای کاتلر از المپیای 2025. به 4 نفر اشاره میکنه که مدعی قهرمانی هستن: هادی، درک، سامسون و نیک. به بهروز تابانی اشاره میکنه، ابراز امیدواری میکنه که ویزاش صادر بشه و بهروز رو یه خطر برای تاپ 6 میدونه و البته در ادامه به بدنسازای مثل بندونکری و اندرو جک هم اشاره میکنه.
This Olympia is going to be a hell of a lineup this year, guys. It's very hard to predict, and I'm looking forward to it a lot, actually.
Yeah. Your top 3 before you leave, Jay. Your top 3.
I mean, I gotta go with Hadi, Samson, Nick Walker, or Derek. I can't say that's my 4. I gotta. Those are my guys, The question is Hadi going to be able to come? And there's this guy, Bet Ruse, that's phenomenal. He'd be possibly in the top 6.
Goodness,
Man.
You know, if he could come, that could shake things up.
Definitely.
And we don't know what Andrew Jackson looked like, right? We're disrespectfully leaving out Brandon Curry, who's been fourth.
حالا نظر شما در مورد این پادکست چیه؟ حتما این پایین در موردش کامنت بذارید. مرسی که تا انتهای این ویدیو هم همراه من بودین. لایک و ساب و کامنت فراموش نشه. حتما ما رو به دوستان خودتون معرفی کنید. اگه انتقاد یا پیشنهادی دارید میتونید این پایین برام کامنت بذارید یا از طریق صفحه اینستاگرامی مستر با من در ارتباط باشید.